the newest version of my planners have a bunch of changes to the overall navigation and layout of the planner, and I'm really excited to show them to you because it really streamlines the process of using it and the layout of the pages. So if we jump in here, you have a really great overview section that's going to help you learn all of the basics, especially if you're brand new to using my planners or if you just want to get updated on some of the changes. And so you can very easily tap through here and get to know the entire layout of the planner. Now, the basis of my planning system and what really sets it apart is the goal clarity roadmap. If you've used my planner before, you know that it's really threaded throughout the planning and reflection pages. Where you start here is this goal clarity roadmap process, which is a series of linked templates that really helps you go from overwhelm to complete focus for your year. And I've made it really easy to tap through and navigate them. You start with this reflection, and it's based on these 6 key areas of your life so that you're not over-indexing on one specific area. You're really thinking holistically. And you go through, you reflect, create vision, and then you create some focus. I then also take you through some time study work and creating routines. And all of this really takes you to having a firm foundation for being able to then focus on achieving your goals throughout the year. So I do take you through goal setting. I share with you a bunch of tips. You can see here there's a lot to explore with tips for using your pages, and I really try to support you in this so that it's easy for you to dig into it as deeply as you're ready for. Again, as I always say with my planner, don't get overwhelmed at first. Start small. If you start just with the goal clarity roadmap, that's going to give you a lot of insight, and then you can just set one goal to start with. So I've added an example goal here. You can see each goal is linked to 3 pages. Your goal plan, which I really recommend completing a goal plan for any goal you set. This is a high-level summary of what you're looking to do, what milestones you'll hit, and some basic work around your why for achieving the goal. Now, if you're looking for some bonus supplemental planning pages, I've included 2 other views with each goal as well. You have a Gantt view, which is kind of that traditional project management view, breaking down a goal into actions and mapping them across your weeks. And then also this progress view, which was built on kind of the concept of a Kanban view, which is something that's used often in like technical development. The idea here is that this is an interactive view. I now, with this version, this is brand new, I have these bonus goal stickers that you can drop on the page, whether you want to keep it high level with individual steps or these tiles where you add the date and the owner. And what this allows you to do is you can write in here what the action is, the date and the owner, and then you can move it through planned, in progress, and completed. And so this gives you kind of a more tactile, interactive feel if that helps you stay motivated and focused. So again, really keep your focus on having a goal plan for any goal you set. But those other views are there for you and linked if you choose to use them. Okay, so we've gone through the basis of this, which is the goal clarity roadmap and setting your goals. Now let's really get into the bulk of the planner, which is your dated planning and bonus pages. Now, something new in this version is that I've now included annual pages for 3 total years. I heard a lot in the survey I sent out a few months ago that you're looking for a solution to help capture details coming up in the future beyond the 12 months included in your planner. And so adding on these pages is really going to give you a space to capture high-level details that you can then translate into next year's planner. So I've tried to make the navigation super easy in this. You can see you have your 3 years and then you have all your bonus pages. So what you're able to do is you're able to quickly tap between years and tap between bonus pages. So let's take a tour. First, you have your calendar pages. This is your standard year at a glance. Of course, this is our mid-year planner, so we have dated pages from July of 2023 through June of 2024. Now, I've added in something additional on this version, and that is to give you these hyperlinks for not just the month, but the weeks and the days as well. So you can see I could tap into July. I could also tap to July 5th. I could tap to week 30. So just another navigation option. Again, always trying to make it really easy for you to jump around this planner. So I have my standard calendar. Now I also have all these additional bonus pages for each year. You have your key dates, which is really where I like to capture big events, birthdays. You have a quarterly view. This is brand new in this version. I heard a lot. I'm not really sure what to do with something like an oil change, right? I just know I have to get it done within the month, but I'm never sure where to capture it. So this quarterly view gives you that. Whether you want to use it for logistical things like capturing when you need to get an oil change in your car, or you want to use it higher level with maybe some inspiration photos and some high level goals. As always with all areas of the planner, it's up to you how you want to use it, if you want to use it, but this is a new view that you have. And this is one of the views that I can see really helping to close that gap of being able to capture something quickly for an upcoming year in the future. Now you have your wish list, which is kind of like a bucket list. This is thinking more aspirational, even fun. I love this view to keep me focused on living my life fully versus just planning big goals and focused on the more mundane details. Now the tracker is a brand new view as well. I heard that people were looking for more of an annual view, whether you're trying to track a cycle, tracking your sleep, tracking your moods. This gives you a view to track one very important detail in your life at a high level. It works with colors, so you'll designate a color for each, factor, mood, sleep quality, level, whatever you choose to use it for. And you can put the dots that correspond across the year. Now, health, this has been included in past versions. This gives you that overall view, ability to track health metrics, whether those are body measurements or, factors like your mood, your overall sleep quality for the month. You can choose how to use that page. Finance is, of course, more of your high-level financial goal tracking. And these do link out to your monthly finance pages. And then finally, you have a blank page. I've added a grid here to make it a little bit easier to use just for a scratch pad. And I'm going to be sharing some freebies for overlays for these pages as well. Since you do have linked blank pages for each year, month, and week, I want to make sure you can use them to their fullest. So you'll keep your eyes out for those coming out as freebies. So if we tap down now into the month, I'll give you a quick tour of the months that are included. So for this demo, I really wanted to help you visualize how pages might look with content on them. I've added in some demos here. I'll swipe over so you can see the blank as well, kind of the starting point. But this is your monthly page. You can see let's tap down into August here. You can see it's a fairly, plain layout that allows you to really add your details Of course, with my planners, the widget sticker set is what really allows you to customize and take your dated calendar pages to the next level. So that has not changed in this version. You still have a ton of different widgets made specifically for the spaces, the open spaces on your calendar pages. So I'm able to go in here and grab, say, this habit tracker, and I could add it in here. And then I'm adding that in to my monthly page. So I'm going to jump back up to July, and you have that page here. Now, of course, you are linked to your daily pages by just tapping on the number there. And you're also linked to your weekly pages by tapping on the week. So let's take a quick tour of your bonus pages for the month. Now you can see again, we have this revised navigation now. It used to have icons all around, and I heard feedback that it was just really hard to keep things clear of which icon linked to which page. And so hopefully having the words up here is just going to make it a lot easier to navigate around without having to think twice. So I'm in July, I have my calendar here. I tap over, I have my reflection page. Now, this is taking you through kind of a general reflection, again, revisiting those 6 key areas of your life, and then also bringing you back to your goals. I link out here for you. This is where you can see things really threading through, and I'm able to think through what were the goals last month that I was struggling to make progress on, and then we're actually going to try to solve for that in the planning portion of the monthly page. So we jump over to planning, and here we're setting some intentions, and we're really thinking about what we need to change to close the gaps that we had last month, thinking about habits, and also committing to some goals. Now, another bonus page you have, of course, is the tracker. Now, this is where I get more detailed with those very specific daily goals, like having some reading time, no screen after 10 p.m. I like to look at my protein intake. You can see, this gets really detailed. And I also include some habits that I like to track for my family. Now, I use the scale at the bottom of this tracker page personally to track my energy, but you can use this any way that fits. Jumping over to finance, this is where I kind of do a retrospective at the end of the month, and I go through, look in all of my, digital tracking systems and total things up. It helps me just to be more intentional about my spending. And then you, of course, have your blank page. For this example, I wanted to show you using it as a vision board, which I really love, and it helps me to keep things visual for my month and stay inspired. But of course, this is a blank page that you could also just use as a scratch pad, add a lined overlay, a dotted overlay. There are a lot of options for these blank pages. Jumping down into our weeks, in this version, you actually have the choice between 4 different weekly layout options. And each of those 4 different layout options come with both a Monday start and Sunday start version. So you can choose whichever view you want to see your weeks in. And of course, if it's a Monday start version on both the weekly and the monthly pages, it starts with Monday, and Sunday vice versa. So all of these options come in both Monday and Sunday start. So the 4 different weekly layout options you have is this standard vertical layout, which is most compatible with the layout widget stickers, which I'll show you in a minute. And here's an example of how that can be set up. You can see I actually added a whole widget in the background here to give me that blocked schedule view. And then I, of course, added a footer as well. Now, this second version is new. This is more of what I'd call kind of your control center for the week. Maybe you don't want to manage your full schedule because you take that level of detail down to your daily pages. Instead, you just want to give like a really high level kind of goals for each day and manage important lists and details here on this page. This is giving you that ability, and here's an example of setting that up using the stickers. Now, the third option is this blocked view. Of course, just, a very different way of laying out your days that's also available to you. And the fourth option is this schedule view option, which I started adding kind of some stickers in to show how that might be laid out. If you don't want to have to deal with adding in widgets to add those schedule blocks, this really takes advantage of the full page and just gives you a nice place to add in all of your details if you really want to manage the details of a schedule in this single view. So when you download your planner, you get to choose between those different views, and you can choose the one you want, and then you'll import that version. So if we jump back, this specific planner that I'm demoing this on, I have these vertical weeks, and just to remind you, you have a ton of different options for customizing this, from overlays of schedule blocks all the way to just these smaller widgets that you can just run along the bottom or anywhere in the middle, trackers helping to keep focus on your priorities or intentionality, adding in meals, wellness, workouts as footers. So there's a ton that you can do with your weekly pages by adding in these widgets. And then I'm also trying to give you the flexibility of being able to choose different layouts. Because again, it's always about giving you your perfect planning experience. All right, so if we jump in beyond this calendar page, again, you see this new navigation that makes it super easy to jump between the pages with your week. So we have kind of a secondary calendar view, and that is your plan view. Now I've added in an example here. Let me clear out this page so you can see what it looks like blank. I've added in an example here of how I like to use this page. Personally, I like to use it for meal planning. A lot of teachers or students use it for lesson planning or assignment tracking. You could also use this to plan out your workouts, maybe by type of exercise or area of your body that you're going to be working on each day. You could use this for something like a cleaning schedule, making each of these columns designated for an area of your house, and then listing out what task you're going to be doing each day. Again, a reminder, only use this view if it's helpful for you, and if you need something supplemental, you might not need this at all. And that's why the perk of digital planning is being able to use what you like, ignore the rest, and you're not carrying around like a massive paper binder for your planner. So getting into more of the bulk of the planning pages, this is your weekly focus. This is really that weekly planning exercise you can go through to stay focused on your goals. It gives you an ability to list out some celebrations, like things that went well, accomplishments. Then it really takes you back to what were your top 3 for last week, and really how much progress did you make on those. Then you think about what worked well, what you can change, what you're looking forward to, and then you get into really committing to your top 3 for the week. Now, this is where we thread through our goals. So a reminder, you started back here with your goal plan, listing out your milestones. Then when we jump down to our weeks, we are choosing one of those milestones and we're breaking it down into actions. Your actions are things that you can commit to on a day-to-day basis. That means I can commit to this action. I'm actually going to copy and paste it over to my daily page for Monday, and it's going to show up as one of my top priorities on Monday. So you can see it does take a little bit of time up front to plan it out, but I will tell you in my own life, having things mapped out to this level of detail, being able to take a huge goal, break it down, and have each day started with a plan and the specific top 3 actions you need to take, that's made all the difference for me. And so my hope is that the planning system here is going to help you do that as well. Jumping over to your wellness, if you like to track in detail these different things, you can go ahead and track them here. One request that I did get for this planner is to have some alternate views that you can add as overlays to this page. And so I will be working on those again as freebies coming out within the next month or so. But this gets really detailed, kind of looking at all the factors: sleep, exercise, water, nutrition, and your self-care. And so you can choose to use this as you wish. Here's the blank page. And here's an example of me using it and adding in my details. Now, the final main page you have is your running list. I personally like using this and designating it for different categories of my life, and it does make it easy to kind of copy and paste it over to the next week. And then I kind of do a list sweep at the end of the week, and it gives me a great time to make sure that I'm not letting anything fall through the cracks. And then you also, of course, have your blank page. I personally often add an overlay on this page. You can see this is just an image, whether you grab a screenshot from one of the template pages included in this planner, or you use one of the freebie insert pages, or you can even grab a layout from a different planner or another resource, and you can plop it down on this page. And that's another great way to make use of those pages, the blank pages that you, of course, have linked in here. Now, if we jump over, I can take you down to the daily page. Now, each daily page, this is where you really want those priorities to show up. So you'll want at least 1 or 2 of your top priorities for each day to correlate back to those goals like we talked about before. And you'll have your priorities here, your to-dos, your schedule. And then I went ahead and went over to just this blank side panel. I had a lot of feedback on different ways that people used it, and ultimately I was hearing most often that you just wanted some flexibility with that side. So if you do really miss the mindfulness or the box layout that you had before, just send me a message. I am happy to help with that and get you a custom version, at least in the short term. But for this, you do have all these options of these widget stickers, whether you want to add something a little bit more decorative, like I like these morning reviews. I like what this adds to the page. Or you can add something more plain, like the lined options. Now you can also take over that middle column with this schedule blocking, which you can see in my example here. I don't really like to manage my time by the hour or the minute, a little too much pressure. I like to do schedule blocking. So you can use this any way you want. Of course, you could even just grab 2 of these. Say I want to look at both my wellness and add in some gratitude practices. I could add that in here. So of course, just adapt these pages to whatever you need them to do for you. They really are open in that sense. And it's easy to quickly jump back to the week from this page. The final section in this planner is the custom notes section. I have converted this so that we aren't taking up the screen real estate on every page with the tabs. Instead, you just have these tabs when you're kind of in this area of the planner. So both on your template page, including on all of your template pages, and when you tap over into your sections, that's when you see your custom dividers. And again, this is just to save screen real estate so that we could make those navigation changes. So when I go in here, I can designate these sections. One of my favorite examples is using it for reading lists. And so if I'm going to do that, what I do here is just write out reading list. And then I'd actually copy this. And when I tap down into my divider, I'd paste it here. Now I like to use my divider to also kind of list out the contents so that I can see it at a glance. So in the case of a reading list, I write out the contents of like all the books I read that I'm including in there. And so think of these divider pages as your like paper tabs in your planner, like they would function in a paper planner. So it's basically a bookmark page. So you're going to be building out your custom sections. You can see you just basically have all of these divider pages one after the other, and it's up to you what pages you want to add in the section. So in the case of my reading list, I am going to grab, of course, this reading list template. I really like this one, just to track the number of books beyond just checking them off of a list, but also to take some quick notes on kind of my reviews. So I'm going to add a page after the one that I copied. I'm going to paste the page. And I know that I'm going to be, reading more than 6 books throughout this year, so I can just duplicate. And then another thing that maybe I'll choose to do is to add in some note pages, just to take some general notes when I'm reading. And so I'm gonna grab this guy here, copy page, and again, head over. And maybe I want to add that one right after this one. And if I do that, then I'll go here and paste the page. And so you can see there's, a little bit of setup that I'll do at the beginning of the year for sections like my reading list that I know I want to have set up. But a lot of this I tend to do throughout the year as I need it. I might designate a section for a big project I have. I'll designate a section for some expense tracking that I'll want to take notes on so that I'm ready for taxes at the end of the year. This is really a space that you make your own. You build out based on what you need. And I don't always use all of my sections. You just use them as you need them throughout the year. Just to give you a closer look at the template pages, you can see there's a ton of options for planning, from meal planning to some alternate weekly, monthly, quarterly views. Then we get into that work prioritization that I had showed you that I had used. So what I did with this is I actually just took a screenshot on my iPad, and then I saved that. I cut out that image and I copied it and I pasted it on top of the page. So you can see how easy it is, whether you're copying the page like I showed you or basically making it into your own overlay. There are a lot of ways you can use this. And so I would copy that and then I would paste it over the blank page. Let's actually go to August to the blank page here. And I would paste. You can see how easy that is. And just resize it, fit it over the page, and then I went ahead and added that layout in. Okay, tapping back into our templates here, you have a time tracker, that's a Pomodoro tracker, habit, mood, a weekly nutrition log, a workout log, some financial trackers, and then of course all of these different note pages as well, which give you space for meeting notes, blank. So I do have a really large collection. I'm always adding new bonus pages as well. Take a look at the freebie section of my site. So the last thing I'll show you here is a quick flip through of the sticker book. We already saw a lot of the widget stickers, and so you're familiar with those and how they work with your planning pages. And so of course you have them all organized by weekly, daily, and monthly. Now getting into some of the others, you have a lot of these little notes, flags, and trackers. More notes, whether you want wide or narrow lined. These are fun. They have some lines on them, some bullet points. These are, more of your notes if you want to really keep your focus on certain things. Now these I love for schedule blocking. You saw those on the schedule page. They are slightly transparent, which is really handy. And then these are fun. They're sticky notes, and so they do have a little bit of texture and drop shadow for that added interest. Now these are really kind of a choose your own adventure, combine as you wish, and you can add these, resize them, and this is where you get into being able to layer them, whether you like, more of that white on color look or the outlined look. And they also work perfectly with your icons. And so the combinations are really endless with, drag and drop, adding them together and creating your own stickers. You also have all of these handy page overlays, some monthly labels. These work great with the icons as well. I love adding an icon and then, some text and kind of putting 3 stickers together. And then of course, these are those new goal stickers that I showed you that work really well in the Kanban view, but of course you can use them anywhere in your planner. And that's it for my overview. I hope this was helpful and that you're just as excited about this new version as I am. As always, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And if you'd like to be updated on new videos, please like and subscribe below. Thanks so much.